So there are about 2 tips I'm going to tell you today that I use to make my center channel speaker sound the best that it can. This speaker is important. Everything that happens on the screen comes from this speaker right here. This speaker is the most used speaker in your home theater by far, so it's important that it sounds good. If you have trouble with your center channel sounding good, sounding clear, with voices sounding intelligible, if you have problems with that, I highly recommend you take these 2 tips. So when you set your crossover on your speakers, or you set it with the automatic room calibration system that your AV receiver has, it's gonna set a crossover to each of your speakers. A lot of times that number may be 80 hertz. Or maybe you've heard us, influencers, reviewers, tech, audio people, tell you that 80 hertz is what the crossover should be. Me personally, I don't use 80 hertz on my center channel. I use 60 hertz. And for me, that has made my center channel so much clearer. Not because the center channel sounds better, but because the other speakers aren't in the way. Let me explain. So let me show you a little bit more about what I'm doing right now. So this is actually a really cool, this is real fast. This is a Funhill monitor. This is my laptop right here. This is a 14-inch laptop. This is a 14.1-inch monitor extender. This is my dual screen that has 1080p IPS picture that I can use to have 2 different things going at once. So on the right side, I have Room EQ Wizard. Then I have Anthem Room Correction on the right side, this is so handy. If you calibrate things or need a second screen, I highly recommend the Funhill monitor extender, because this allows me to make a change on Anthem or on my mini DSP, and I can come right over here and then make a measurement, then go back, make a change, come back, take a measurement, make a change, take a measurement. So this is a really nice display, 14 inches, 1080p, has HDMI. It's plugged up to my laptop via HDMI, and then you plug it up to your USB for power, so you don't have to even plug it up to the wall. It's incredible, and it's only 90 bucks on Amazon right now. This is the Funhill 14-inch laptop monitor extender, full 1080p HD IPS display, really bright and super handy. I highly recommend it. So here's what I'm doing right now. So on Anthem Room Correction, this box right here is the center channel. So what I can do is come here to the center channel option, which you'll do in your system too, and I can select 60 hertz. So I'm gonna click 60, and on the graph, it shows me the changes that I've made. So you see this black line right here? This black line shows me what Anthem is going to try to do from our center channel. So once it hits 60 hertz, it starts to roll off really quickly. It doesn't just disappear, it rolls off. And I can change how quickly it rolls off. Right now, Anthem has it set to be sent to the subwoofer. So my roll off, as soon as it hits 60 hertz, the bass starts to go to the subwoofer. Now I can change it. I can turn off the crossover, or I can do a first order, I can do a fourth, whatever I want to do, but it changes the crossover, and Anthem by default puts it to send to subwoofers. But this crossover here allows my center channel to play all the voice frequencies, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. It plays that on the center channel so that my subwoofers don't start mixing in bass with my voices, making it sound a little more chesty. I don't like it. It doesn't happen all the time, but it can. So if you're having trouble with getting your center channel to sound clear, maybe try lowering your crossover. So when you set your crossover on your speakers, what you're telling your speakers is that I want you to send bass to the sub underneath the crossover point that I set. So for example, if I set my center channel speaker to 80 hertz, I'm telling my AVR, my receiver, or my processor that I want everything at 80 hertz or lower to start to roll off. Now that bass doesn't just disappear, it gets sent to the subwoofer. So if my center channel is set to 80 hertz and I start playing 75 hertz or 70 hertz or 65 hertz, that bass starts to transition from the center channel, away from the center channel, to the subwoofers. And this is exactly why I choose a 60 hertz crossover on my center channel, because less of that bass, that mid bass, goes to my subs, and I keep most of it on my center channel so it sounds more natural. Here's an example. So right now, this is my YouTube speaking voice. I don't talk this energetic all the time, right? This is my YouTube speaking voice. So I'm probably talking around 110, 120, 130 hertz right now. But some men, they talk like this. Some men are down here. Some men like to talk this deep. Some men like to impress the ladies like this. So they talk around 80 hertz, maybe even 70 hertz. maybe even 60 hertz. So depending on the voice or the sci-fi dragon or the monster or whatever, sometimes those voices are around that 80 hertz region. Sometimes men just naturally have a deeper voice, or sometimes people sing in a lower register around that 70, 80 hertz range. If I have my center crossover set to 80 hertz, then sometimes the voices get blended in with the subwoofers. So now you have a more throaty, chesty, unnatural sound that sometimes kind of bothers me. But when I set my crossover to 60 hertz, now all the voices, the male range, stays in the center channel. Now I don't have my subwoofers mixing in with my center channel, causing my dialogue to be a little less intelligible. Now it's more clean, more clear, at least for me. And I've done this on every single setup I've had. Every speaker, my Canton speakers, my Polk Audio speakers, my Kef speakers, now my Arundel speakers. I had my center channel set to 60 so that the center channel itself plays the bass, plays the midtones, and my subwoofers only kick in when it's necessary. Remember, anything underneath your crossover point gets sent to the subwoofer. So if I have my center channel on 60 hertz, then everything 60 and under starts to roll off to the subwoofers. Voices are around 80, 90, 100 hertz. So now all my voice dialogue only comes from the center channel. And I personally like that sound so much better. So if you're like me and you don't have an acoustically transparent screen, then you have your center channel down here below it. Whether that's your TV or a big projector screen, you have your center channel under the screen. It's unfortunate, but that's all that you can do. Here's another tip to help you get your center channel to sound better, even in bad conditions. Number one is to make sure that your center channel is, first off, as tall as it can be. Get it as high as you possibly can, because obviously ear level is ideal. We can't be ear level down here, but we can at least get it as high as we can. That's step number one. Step number two is to angle your center channel up towards you. You're not going to be sitting this low. There's not a couch out there that has you sitting this close to the ground. So you're going to want to angle your center channel upwards so that it fires towards you instead of at your kneecaps or at your feet, at your shins. So raise it up as high as you can and then angle it up. Now, don't just angle it with anything. I recommend getting some foam isolation pads, or they make these little slanted foam ramps that you put under speakers to angle them up. The reason why I recommend those is because they have a little bit of absorption. You don't want to add any extra reflection than what you're already going to have down here. So raise it up high as you can, tilt it up. Number three, if you have it on an entertainment stand of some sort, typically you want it all the way to the front so that your sound is not scattering all across these hard surfaces. So what I've done, it's kind of like a foam mat. This is actually for car audio. You use this as sound insulation. Some people call it kill mat, some people call it dead mat, or dyno mat, for example. This is actually for your car. This is a foam with a adhesive backing to it. This actually absorbs reflections. So I have put a little bit of it on my projector stand here, this counter, this cabinet, if you want to call it that. And so now all the sound that comes out of the center channel doesn't bounce off of this and then scatter into the room. This will also help you clean up your sound. If you can't move your center channel to the front of the cabinet, then you want to at least get something soft, whether that's foam, whether that's a towel, a blanket, whatever you can do. You don't want your frequencies to be bouncing off of hard surfaces because it will make your sound harder to understand. So for me, I just have this really, really nice, pretty stylish in my opinion, mat from Car Audio, and it's just a foam pad with an adhesive backing that I stuck onto the shiplap. This is what it's made out of, so that my sound isn't bouncing off of this and then going wherever which way. So that really has helped the sound. So raise it up as high as you can, angle it towards yourself, pull it up to the front if you can, and if not, put something in front of it that won't block your sound, but will keep things from bouncing, keep your sound from bouncing every which way.
3rd and 5. In the pocket, to the outside, is that hold in? Justin Jefferson makes the catch. Inbounds, Canhart with the covers. First down, their second.
How about that ball? Here we are talking about his career, what he's been through, and he's been pressured 4-6. Here's his eyes.
All right, guys, so I hope that helps somebody out there. Try a lower crossover on your center channel. If you are experiencing issues with having clear voices, dialogue doesn't sound so good, sometimes it sounds like somebody's talking through a pillow, well, try lowering your crossover. Maybe it's not your center channel. Maybe your choice on crossover is affecting how much bass is coming from the speaker or vice versa. See if you can play around with your settings and get a cleaner sound. That'll save you some money instead of having to buy a whole new center channel. Try that first. With that being said, down below, leave me some other tips that you guys use to make your current center channel sound better without upgrading it. Let me know what you guys do down below in the comment section. Hit that like button, subscribe already. And oh, by the way, YouTube thinks you're going to like this video here, so make sure you click on it. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.